So in 7.4, we get to a section where we're dealing with properties of logarithms, and these are this might be kind of a heavy section. It's really just three main rules that we're going to focus on. But you're going to use these if you end up taking a calculus class down the road. These are going to be used quite a bit, and we're going to use the power property a lot moving forward in the chapter when we're solving and doing other things. So here are three properties of logarithms we're going to work with today. So the product property says that if you have a log of any base, call it b, of two numbers being multiplied together or two quantities being multiplied together, you can break that up as the log base b of m plus the log base b of n. So multiplication can get broken down into addition. In a very similar way, the quotient property says the log base b of m divided by n can be broken down into log base b of m, the numerator, minus log base b of n, the denominator. And then finally, the power property, this is my favorite one. If you have the log base b of m to the power of p, the power property says that you can swing that p out in front and just make that a multiplying by that p as like just a number. So p times log base b of m is the same thing. And this deals with properties of logarithms. So like if you're thinking, this is my base to that power, I need it to what power multiplies to that, that p just basically swings out front. It's maybe easier to explain with a number. So if we do like log base 3 of, let's just say, 3 squared, just for fun, to make this easy. Well, we know log base 3 of 3 squared is the same as log base 3 of 9. 3 to what power gets you 9? We know that's 2. Using our property, you swing the 2 out in front, you're left with 2 log base 3 of 3. Log base 3 of 3 is just 1. 2 times 1 is just 2. So that's why this works. It works with any kind of number. This is a pretty easy example to see. 3 squared is 9, so you get 2. But if you do our property, you get the same thing as well. So here we have kind of an expanded logarithm. We're going to write it as a single logarithm and then simplify if we can. So log base 2 of 32 minus log base 2 of 4. Whenever we see subtraction of logarithms, that correlates with dividing. So this is like log base 2 of 32 over 4, which we know that's log base 2 of 32 divided by 4, last time I checked, is 8. And then we can simplify that too. 2 to what power gets you 8? Well, 3. So this whole thing altogether is just 3, which is kind of cool. Next example, 5 times the log base 4 of x plus 3 times log base 4 of y. If you have a number out in front, that's an exponent, so this becomes log base 4 of x to the 5th plus 3 goes on top, log base 4 of y cubed. And now finally we are adding. Adding, kind of like subtracting, correlates not with division but multiplication. So since these bases are the same, we can do log base 4 of the quantity x to the 5th times y to the 3rd. That's a to the 5th. Not very clear. So I know we did that in 2 steps, and I'm going to recommend kind of doing these in multiple steps if you have to. It's really easy to get confused if you try to do everything at once. So power property first, we put the 5 up top, put the 3 up top, and then we combined the 2 from adding to multiplying. Let's do a couple more of these. 2 log base 4 of 6 minus log base 4 of 9. We know that's going to be division. Let's start with just the 2 up top. So you got log base 4 of 6 squared minus log base 4 of 9. 6 squared is 36, so you got log base 4 of 36 minus log base 4 of 9. That's division, so log base 4 of 36 over 9. 36 divided by 9 is just 4. So look at this, you got log base 4 of 4, which is just 1. After all that work, that whole thing is just equal to 1. Let's do one more. Log base 3 of 5x plus log base 3 of 4x. This one's pretty straightforward. We know adding means multiplying, so we have log base 3 of 5x times 4x, which is just log base 3 of 20x squared. And since we're condensing, we don't need to move the exponent. We want it all as a single logarithm, so we can be done there. Okay, let's go the other way. Let's expand these things. So now we're given this condensed and we want to expand it as far as we can. So when I look at this, I see division. So that means that we're going to have subtraction. So we got log of 8x minus log of 5y. And now we'll keep expanding because here we have multiplication. You got 8 times x, so this becomes log of 8 plus log of x, and then we'll expand here minus log of 5, and then it would be plus log of y, but we're subtracting the whole quantity. So if you're going to do that, I'd maybe put parentheses around this, and then you go log of y. Alternatively, if you knew you're subtracting both pieces, you could just put a minus in there and you wouldn't need the parentheses, but I'd be okay with this for a final answer. Let's try this last one. You got log base 4 of 32 over 7, so that is log base 4 of 32 minus log base 4 of 7. It looks like we're done. We could simplify this a little bit. So if you want to write this as log base 4 of 2 to the 5th power, maybe I'll do some side notes over here. We know this would be 4 to the x power. 4 to what power gets you 2 to the 5th power? So like 2 to the 2x power gets you 2 to the 5th power. This is stuff we did in an earlier lesson. So like 2x equals 5. So x is like 5 over 2 or 2.5. So this could just be 2.5 minus log base 4 of 7. That'd be a fine final answer too. And that's just simplifying that. Log base 4 of 32 is 2.5. However you figured that out. I just did it this way. Do a few more. Log base 3 of 9x to the 5th. We are adding in here because we have multiplication. So you got log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of x to the 5th. Log base 3 of 9, 3 to what power gets you 9 is 2, plus, we're going to swing the 5 out in front because that's our power property, 5 times log base 3 of x, and that would be perfectly expanded. And then last one for this video, log base 2 of 4 times the square root of y cubed. We have a lot of things going on here. We'll break it down first. We're multiplying, so we'll just go log base 2 of 4 plus log base 2 of, now I'm going to challenge you, the square root is like the 1/2 power. So this is like y cubed to the 1/2 power or y to the 3/2 power. So I'm just going to write it like that. 2 to what power gets you 4? That's just 2. So 2 plus, swing the 3/2 out in front, 3/2 log base 2 of y. So that is expanding and condensing logarithms using our properties of logs. These are our main 3 properties.